All right, guys, it is time for this week's side topics. And as mentioned before, I was gonna give my opinion on Clemson. They're falling to 1-3. As Jordan said, this is their worst start to a season since 2004. I think ever under Dabo, right? Right, Jordan? They've never that was
Every
previous.
season under Dabo. I don't remember exactly what year he became head coach, but it was sometime early last decade.
Early,
2014, maybe 13.
Okay, so yeah, this is the worst they've ever fallen under him. And, some people in the world of sports, especially in the age of social media, coaches get called to get fired. It's easy. Just fire him. Just get rid of him. He's a problem. Get rid of him. It'll all get fixed, right? Um, and I wanted to weigh in and say, no, that is the wrong approach. And I agree with Jordan in what he said in our biggest surprise and disappointment of college football topic. Go check that out, by the way on the channel. But I do disagree with that. I think how you handle it is if you're firing him, you're nuts. You're unreasonable, I think, because he's won you two national championships. I believe they've had 10 conference championships or 10 bowls. I saw there was some stat like
Eight,
that.
eight out of the 10 out of the 8 out of the last 10 ACC champions have been Clemson.
Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, 8 out of the 10 last. That's super impressive. 80% in a Power Five now Power Four conference. That's amazing. So you're gonna fire him after like what 1.5 bad seasons? Like that's terrible. But so what I would do if I was Clemson or if I was a Clemson fan, what I would want them to do is just have some of the president of the school or whoever runs sports there the board or whatever, like the athletic program, just come talk to the athletic director, go talk to Dabo, see what's going on because Dabo Sweeney has made a lot of comments about, the old way of college football and how he doesn't like NIL necessarily and all that. So just go have a talk with him, not fire him because I think that's a problem too. Like this is not all on Dabo. Like Clemson was supposed to rank number 4, but their defense was not that good. They got a new defensive coordinator this year. The talent was just not there. Cade Klubnik didn't turn out to be as great. So just go have a talk with them and see why are we falling so high behind in NIL, or maybe try to nicely say, if that's not your thing, maybe you can retire soon. But firing him, no, not the way to go. And I did want to mention that because that's people on social media, they're so quick to just say fire, 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 like that's going to fix everything. So it is disrespectful.
Yeah, when it comes to the conversation of firing Dabo, I mean, why are we even talking about this? Like I mentioned, he's won 8 out of the last 10 ACC championships. He has two national championships to his name. He played in, I believe, he's played in three other ones. He's played in five national championship games. So I I just don't get why we're having this conversation. My main question is, if you fire him right now, who are you going to get? Are you going to go? Because honestly, there's only one other active head coach who has won multiple national titles, and that is Kirby Smart at Georgia. And I personally do not think he would leave. Um, I understand Clemson's about an equal, name as Georgia these days. But honestly, I don't think he'd leave unless you want to, maybe look at, past coaches, maybe Urban Meyer, talk to him, maybe Nick Saban. But if you're going to fire Dabo, what are we doing? Um,
Yeah. Yeah, they would probably have a boring hire too. I feel like if it wouldn't be anyone like spicy like Urban Meyer or someone, I think it'd be someone boring in house. So like it wouldn't really fix much, I don't think. But in other news, Mike Gundy, the longtime former or now former head coach of Oklahoma State, recently got fired. And honestly, my take on that is this is the college football meme legend. Everybody knows the I'm a man, I'm 40 if you've ever watched college football, or maybe not. Like that clip went viral even if you don't like watch sports or football, you
I
might
think
have
it
you
was
might have
nine
seen
years
that.
ago, actually.
Right. Yeah, because like that clip went viral because for reasons of, criticizing college players. Like these aren't pros and you're making up
Exactly.
stuff
It's
about
like, exactly. It's like the coach is taking responsibility for that.
right.
And
Like
he's
this
like,
is
well,
not professionals.
I coach these guys, come after me, like talk to me, complain to me, all that stuff.
Right. And not only that, but they were making up stuff like how he didn't want to play, like players didn't want to play. It was a very good point and like very moving to where even if you don't watch sports, like you might have found that video, but he turned into a meme with that for sure. So this is just his send off, I think. Not really the end he would want, losing at home to an in-state Group of Five rival in Tulsa and looking terrible while doing it, or losing 69-3 to Oregon. But an end comes to everybody. His end came tough, but it's a nice send off for a meme legend, I would say, for college football. So good career, Mike Gundy, if he's done.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate he got fired because just I believe 4 years ago, Oklahoma State was one play away from making the college football playoff potentially, and unfortunately now he's fired. So I mean, best of luck to Mike Gundy and the rest of his life endeavors, whether that be he coaches again or just retires. That's good luck to him. Um, Another thing I wanted to mention, staying with the college football talk, is we got two big games this weekend. Alabama travels to Athens to face Georgia for the first time since 2015, and we got Oregon taking its first ever trip to University Park, or as we call it, Happy Valley, to face Penn State. Evan, what are your initial takeaways on these two games? Just really quick.
I'm sorry, can you say the Penn State matchup one more time?
Penn State, Oregon.
That's going to be a deciding game for the Big Ten. I think this is put up or shut up time for Penn State. Yes, they went on a big run to get to the I guess quote unquote the college football final for it last year. And then couldn't get it done versus Notre Dame. This is a big game for them. You got your experienced quarterback in Drew Aller. You do get to be at home, which is nice, but Oregon and Dan Lanning and all them, they're going to come and put up points. So you got to be you got to be ready for that. It should be a great game, crazy environment in Happy Valley for sure. But I think Oregon might have the edge just because I love how fast paced their offense goes. But it's going to be an amazing game. Penn State's obviously great around all too.
Yeah, I think the Oregon Penn State game is going to be amazing this weekend. I'll give the experience edge actually to Penn State, and the fact they're playing at home, I would give them the advantage. I'll have to look deeper into that game to actually, determine who I think is going to win. But just real quick thoughts on that Georgia Alabama game. Um, Georgia is 1-8, I believe it is, against Alabama since 2007, which was Nick Saban's first year in Tuscaloosa. Um, and I know the defense did not look great in Knoxville 2 weeks ago. I personally cannot see them playing that bad again under Kirby Smart. Like I said, Georgia's won in I think 8 against Alabama since 2007, while Georgia has not lost at home in nearly 6 years. So something's got to give on Saturday.
I think
I'm a little excited to watch it, but I'm also really nervous. It just seems like every time Alabama plays Georgia, they just find some magic.
Oh,
Um,
I can imagine that's gonna be a tough game. I was gonna say for that one, I think Georgia, that Tennessee game, yeah, they look shaky on defense and stuff, but you have that loss to Notre Dame last season. You played Georgia Tech super close. Like at the end of last season, it's like, are we still the Georgia Bulldogs? What's going on here? Right? But like, I think that game against Tennessee, it's like, oh wait, yeah, we can still go do this. Gunnar Stockton, whoever's quarterback, whoever's defense, we've lost a couple guys to the draft. We are still the Georgia Bulldogs. We can still go into Tennessee and win. So I think that's got to give them confidence as they're playing, what is going to be a tough game against Alabama for sure.
yeah. So I mean, with all due respect to Kalen DeBoer, I just think to myself and look on the sideline and be like, oh yeah, we have the best coach in the country. You know, like again, that's with all due respect to Kalen DeBoer, but
I
like
agree.
Smart, like
Yeah, I would say he's the best coach. In the offseason, I was arguing for Dabo. Obviously, he's struggling a little bit right now in the team. Although, as I said at the beginning of that's not all of his fault. But I would agree with you. I think it's Kirby Smart right now. So the last thing I wanted to say, and maybe I'm not sure if Jordan has one more thing, on for this episode is I know we talked a tiny bit about the Charlie Kirk thing, and I don't want to go way into that, but I just want to say they had his funeral this past weekend. And I will say I didn't really watch it or listen to it, but I did listen to Erika Kirk's speech. It was like 30 minutes. If you want, go check it out on you too. But I think that's a great instance of obviously she's, mourning the loss of her husband, but that was a person like the way we were talking about on the video last week. And I was actually even getting into it a little bit with some guy in the comments, but that's what I was talking about. Like, you've got people on the left saying like, not taking it as seriously maybe as they should have, or some people on the right saying like, we need to, you know, you know, like take it up a notch and fight them harder. And I think Erika Kirk made a very good speech to just say, hey, this isn't about politics. Let's just, put a positive message and celebrate what he went through. And also saying that she forgives the shooter. I mean, like that's amazing. So I just wanted to, because I know we covered that last week. I just wanted to give a small note and say I give credit to her for being the bigger. I was gonna say the bigger man, but I guess the bigger woman in this case. But seriously, like hats off to her for sure.
I personally do not have a whole lot to say about this. I just know that what Charlie stood for was, in my mind, right. And I don't think that any man should ever, or woman should ever lose their life over political views. So may Charlie rest in peace. Shout out to his wife who seemed very strong from what Evan said, and even for forgiving the shooter. I don't even know how that happened, but you know what? Hats off to her.